All right, so we'll say good morning. Let's begin. Mazel tov upon reaching Maseches Avodah Zara. Beautiful, beautiful Masechta filled with so much incredible agarta, so much halacha, everything, mamish, every line, every word. So let's begin. So we'll say the Mishnah begins by discussing a series of different restrictions which apply within 3 days before an Avodah Zara Yom Tiv. Within 3 days before an idolatrous Yom Tiv, there are certain restrictions on interactions between a Jew and idolater. If you look at Rashi, Rashi says over here, well, actually, before we get to it, so we'll say, number one, you're not permitted to go ahead and do business with an idolater within 3 days before his Yom Tiv. To borrow something from them or to lend something to them. Lahalvosan ulalavos mehen. Now, lahashilan ulishol mehen refers to kelim, to utensils, to objects. So you can't borrow, you can't lend to them within 3 days before their Yom Tiv. Lahalvosan ulalavos mehen refers to a monetary loan. You can't borrow money or lend money to them within 3 days. Liparan. Similarly, to go ahead and pay them back, pay the Avodah Zara back from a pre-existing loan, or to go ahead and accept repayment from him for a pre-existing loan. None of these things can be done within 3 days prior to their Yom Tiv. Rabbi Huda, so before we go on, look at the top Rashi. Rashi says, so again, we'll discuss this in the Gemara, but at least to understand a little bit about a basic idea of a kulu. Mishum da'azul umodre la'avodos kochavim miyomido. We'll say the idea is because ultimately, again, this will cause them to give thanks to their avodah zara. See, the idea is that the Ovdei Avodah Zara also have emunah and also believe in hashgacha pratis, and they believe that their deity also controls the events and circumstances of their lives. And therefore, again, if the Yom Tov is coming up for the Ovdei Avodah Zara and something quote-unquote positive happens to them, they're going to attribute that success. They're going to attribute that wonderful event to what? To their Avodah Zara, to their deity. And therefore, again, what ends up effectively happening is the Jew plays a role in the dveikis between the idolater and his idol. Therefore, in an effort to avoid that, in an effort to go ahead and avoid any type of creating additional bonds between the idolater and his idol, Chazal said there are certain things that you should not do within 3 days before their particular Yom. Now, interestingly enough, Rabbi Huda goes ahead and he says the following. Rabbi Huda Omer, Nifra'in mehan, mipnei shemeitzar hulo. Rabbi Huda says no. Although you can't go ahead and pay the idolater back, you can go ahead and accept repayment from the idolater. That you can do. Why? Mipnei shemeitzar hulo. Well, it's actually very profound. Because at the end of the day, it's a tsar, right? Nobody likes to have to repay a debt, so it's a tsar. Therefore, because it's a tsar, then ultimately, again, a person is not going ahead and going to give hodah, going to give thanks to their idol. So Amrullah, so the Rabbanan said to Rabbi Yehuda, Afa Pishem, is actually a very profound statement. Afa Pishem Meitzaru Achshav, even though now it might be difficult and it might cause tsar for the Ovdei Avodah Zara. In other words, why is it going to cause him tsar? Because right now he's paying back a debt. He's paying back a debt, and therefore, again, he's got less money in his pocket. Even though right now, ultimately, it's going to cause him a little bit of tsar, but sameach ula achar zman. But he'll be happy later on, right? He'll be happy later on. What does it mean? He's going to be happy later on? Because what's at the end of the day, right now? At the end of the day, right now, he's happy that he went ahead and. Also, we dedicate our learning. The Haken family dedicates learning the Schus of Refuah Shalema for Avram ben Zinat. We hope that in the merit of our Talmud Torah, we'll have a complete and enduring Refuah. Shkoach for the dedication. So now we go back there. So Rabbi Huda, so the Rabbanan say back to Rabbi Huda, they say that Lamaisa, again, even though there's tsar right now that he's paying back money, but at the end of the day, he's going to be happy. Why is he going to be happy, I will say? Because at the end of the day, the debt is repaid and no longer hovers over the individual. So both say, I tell you, the truth is, this is an incredible and dramatic yisod. What the Rabbanan are saying to Rabbi Yehuda is that as much as right now there might be a little bit of a pinch, and that he's paying back the money, They will say there is no greater simcha in life than what? No greater simcha than not having chovos on your shoulders. No greater simcha than paying off your debts. No greater simcha than not being encumbered. No greater simcha than ultimately again not being beholden to anyone. So even though there might be a little bit of a pinch, there might be a little bit of a difficulty that he has to pay back the money now, but Lamais again he'll be sameach in the long run. Good. So we'll say, so bottom line in the Mishnah is that there are certain things which a Jew is not permitted to interact with an idolater within 3 days before the idolater's Yom Div, out of concern that if the Jew in any way causes benefit to the idolater is going to attribute that benefit to his deity. Therefore, it turns out that the Jew is playing a role in facilitating the relationship between the idolater and his idolatry, and we try to refrain from that when possible. Says the Gemara. So we'll say, here we go. Rabbi Shmuel. We'll say, so far, right, Beis with Aleph the Gemara. Rabbi Shmuel. We'll say, so there's a machlokis in the gears of the Mishnah between Rav and Shmuel. Chad tani idehen, v'chad tani idehen. It will say one has the word idehen with an aleph, and one has the word idehen with an ayin. It will say, remember again, idehen with an aleph, as we're going to see, means their destruction. Idehen with an ayin means testimony, like from a lashon of edus. So it says the Gemara, man detani idehen lo mishtavish, or man detani idehen lo mishtavish. Also, it's one of these beautiful situations. Everybody's right. The one who says Idein with an Aleph is okay, and the one who says Idein with an Ayin is okay. We'll say both are correct. Both are correct. First wide line, we'll say Bezim and Aleph. Man detani Idein lo mishtavish. The one who says Idein with an Aleph is not mistaken. Tichsir, we'll say, remember again, Idein with an Aleph means destruction. Because what does the pasuk say? Here the Gemara quotes the pasuk from Dvarim. Kikarov Yom Idam. Because it will say the day of their destruction is near. So therefore I will say, when the Mishnah chooses to talk about Avodah Zara, the Mishnah talks about Avodah Zara with a descriptive word, speaking about the ultimate destruction of the Avodah Zara. So that's why it says Idehem with an Aleph. Uman detani Idehem, it will say second wide line. The one who says Idehem with an Ayin, what does Lo Mishtabish? He's also not mistaken. Why? Dichsev Yitnu Idehem v'yitzdaku. So we'll say the pasuk says, literally again, the pasuk is Yitnu Eidehem v'yitzdaku. We'll say the idea over here seems literally translated means they will give their testimony and they will be v'yitzdaku, and they will be exonerated. So the Gemara says, really, v'yitzdaku means that they will be proven right. So uman de tani idehen, my tamelo tani idehen. So we'll say that we're just focusing on syntax right now. And the opinion who says idein with an aleph, destruction, why doesn't he go ahead and say idein with an ayin? Amr lecha tavra adif. Because he will say that when speaking about Avodah Zara, it is better to use a term of destruction. And therefore, again, Dafka uses idein with an aleph. Umadatani idein, and the one who says idein with an ayin, speaking about the idea. Now, just by the way, the idein with the ayin speaks about the yesod that what? That ultimately, and we'll discuss this in greater depth, that at some point in time, the Avodah Zara itself will serve as the witness against the Oved Avodah Zara for their spiritual transgressions. Meaning, at the end of the day, the Avodah Zara itself will be the aid against the idolater. Omad Tani Idein, my time alone Tani Idein. So say ultimately, the one who says Idein with an ayin, why is it that he doesn't hold of Idein with an aleph, which means destruction? Amar Lacha, man kagaram hu tavra. We'll say ultimately again, what is it which causes the Oved Avodah Zara to be destroyed? Edus she'idu ba'atzman. Ultimately, again, it is the edus that the Avodah Zara itself will testify against them. Hilchach edus adifa. Therefore, ultimately, again, the lashon of edus, meaning idehen with an ayin, is more preferable. V'hai. So the Gemara just will say. So again, fundamental machlokes between Rav and Shmuel, not much more just a syntax machlokes. The Mishnah says Lifnei Idein Shavdei Yochavim, and we translate Ideim as Yamim Tovim. Machlokes Rav and Shmuel, just as to the Girsa. Rav has it with an Aleph, Shmuel has it with an Ayin. Rav says Aleph Idein, referring to the destruction of Avodah Zara. Whenever we speak about Avodah Zara, so we speak about, again, the Avodah Zara should be destroyed as well. Shmuel saying with an Ayin Idein, ultimately again, Eidos, from a lashon of Eidos, that the Avodah Zara itself will serve as the eidos against those who worship it. Fine. So the Gemara says the following. Now the Gemara asks a question. So the Gemara quoted, to support the idea that Ideim is spelled with an ayin, the Gemara quoted the pasuk from Yeshaya. And the pasuk says, Yitnu Ideim v'yitzadku v'yishma'u v'yomru emes. Literally again, the witnesses, that Yitnu Ideim, they will give their testimony, and yatzdiku, and literally will exonerate or will justify. So the Gemara says, that pasuk is not talking about of the Avodah Zara. That pasuk is talking about who? That pasuk is talking about Klal Yisrael, we'll say. So we'll say that pasuk is ultimately talking about the idea. Look at Rashi for just a moment. Rashi says, Yitnu Eideyam v'yatzdiku. So he says, Hashta saka daite de ovdi kochavim ksiv, ve'atmui metama. Yitnu ovdei kochavim ideyam yavo avodos kochavim sha'avdu v'ya'idu aleim v'yatzdikum. But the way the pasuk reads is as follows: Yitnu edeyam, the witnesses will come, v'yatzdiku, and will be matzdik them. What does being matzdik them mean? Being matzdik them means they will be proven correct. V'yishmu, and they will hear v'yomru emes, and they'll say it is true. Says the Gemara, this is not about over the Avodah Zara. This is talking about Jews. This is talking about the fact that in the whenever this is, I will say, whether it's Olam Haba, Messianic era, whatever it is, the point is there'll come a time where my Maisim Tovim, my good deeds, and we'll discuss this, my good deeds will come testify on my behalf and ultimately again exonerate me. In other words, we say exonerate me, will testify on my behalf and be matzdik me. So yet the Gemara is bringing this pasuk as a raya for Ideim with an ayin, speaking about of the Avodah Zara. To which the Gemara says, "You're right, Rabbi Yisrael Ksiv." Don't Rabbi Shmuel Silber. Listen to how beautiful this is. Kol mitzvos sheYisrael osim ba'olam hazeh. He will say all the mitzvos that Klal Yisrael do in this world, ba'os umi'idos lahem li'olam haba. He will say ultimately again come and testify on their behalf in olam haba. I will say such a beautiful idea, such a beautiful image if you think about it. That after 120, when you come up to olam haba, all the mitzvos that one did come and testify on its behalf. My mitzvos testify on my behalf. My mitzvos stand by my side. My mitzvos stand there to greet me in the Olam HaEmes after 120. So beautiful. Shnei Amar, Yitnu Eideyem v'yatzdiku elu Yisrael. Ultimately, again, because the pasuk says they will serve as witnesses. V'yatzdiku, they will exonerate. This refers to Klal Yisrael. Yishmu'u v'yomru emes. We'll say they will hear and they will say truth. They will say emes. Elu ovdei kochavim. And we'll say that phrase refers to the ovdei kochavim. That phrase ultimately says that in the olam emes. We'll say, and again, we'll define our terms in terms of whether or not we're talking about olam haba, where you go after you die. We're speaking about messianic era. We'll define all of that in just a little bit. The point the Gemara is making, we'll say, is the Rabbi Shmuel Silber is making is as follows: that lemaisa again, when a person does a mitzvah in this world, that mitzvah comes and testifies on their behalf in Olam Haba. And sitting right there are the Ovdei Kochavim, and the Ovdei Kochavim who spent their lives pursuing all the wrong things. See what truth is, see what good is, see what holiness is, and they say emes. They say emes. They have to know this. People say, here's the amazing part, and this is the incredible Musar. You know, in this world, you can tell yourself a lot of things. And in this world, you could convince yourself of a lot of things. And in this world, you could convince yourself, this is MS, this is not MS, I don't need to do this, I can make an excuse for this. In Olam Haba, Rabbi say there are no excuses. And in Olam Haba, there's no but, there's no this, or there's no... In Olam Haba, there's MS. So the mitzvos I do, they serve as witnesses on my behalf, testifying to the MSDic behavior I've engaged in. The Ovdei Kochavim, I will say, have no choice ultimately again but to be modeh to the MS nature of my actions and to lament a lifetime of futility. The Gemara goes right there. Man damar idein. So we'll say the one who says idein with an ayin, which ultimately again means testimony, mehacha. He learns out from the following pasuk. But say quotes over here the pasuk from Yeshaya. Yotzrei Pesel, those who go ahead and fashion idols, kulam tohu, everything is nothingness. V'chamudeyem bal yo'ilu, and that which they consider to be precious has no ability to help them. Ve'edeyem hema, and those very idols ultimately again serve as the witnesses against them. So we'll say good. So we'll say the idea over here is, so again, this closes out this first part of the discussion. So Halacha L'Maaseh, the Gemara just says, we've just dealt now with a machlokus between Rav and Shmuel about the syntax of the Mishnah. The Mishnah tells me that 3 days before the Yom Tov of the Avodah Zara, I should not engage in certain business transactions with him, because he's going to attribute his financial success ultimately to what? Ultimately to his Avodah Zara. Is he dayan with an ayin, or is he dayan with an aleph? Machlokes Rav and Shmuel. One opinion saying it's with an aleph because dayan with an aleph means destruction. Whenever we speak about Avodah Zara, we always like to speak about destruction of the Avodah Zara. Others say dayan lives with an ayin. Highlighting this dynamic, I will say that after 120, I will say it's such an incredibly profound and overwhelming idea. After 120, my life's actions serve as the witnesses in Beis Din Shalmala. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to judge me for the life that I lived, it doesn't have to call character witnesses. Who are the witnesses? And again, I will say it's not a trial, it's an assessment. Who are the witnesses for my assessment of how I lived my life? My maisim. It's my actions. So if a person did mitzvahs, a person learned Torah, a person engaged in chesed, a person was about tzedakah, fantastic. All of those things stand on my behalf. Person was an Oved Avodah Zara, chas v'shalom, those things stand on his behalf as well. So we'll say how the Gemara goes like this, by the way, get ready. It's only first day, and such a dramatically beautiful Gemara. Darash Rabbi Chanina bar Papa, v'yitim Rabbi Smaloi, la'asid lav, I will say in the future. Now I will say, in this, remember we saw this back in Makkas, about la'asid lavo. Does la'asid lavo mean Messianic era? Does la'asid lavo means Olam Haba, and even Olam Haba? Does Olam Haba mean Messianic era? Does Olam Haba mean where you go when you die? So that's all discussion. This is clearly speaking about Messianic era. So this is Yemos HaMashiach. So Darish Rabbi Chanina bar Pav v'yitim Rabbi Smaloi la'asid lavo maybe HaKadosh Baruch Hu Sefer Torah umanicho b'cheiko. They both say in la'asid lavo Mashiach comes. The Rebbe Shalom is going to bring a Sefer Torah. It is going to hold it against his chest. So we'll say, so first of all, the Mefarshim just point out this incredible image. What's the idea that he's bringing a Sefer Torah and he's holding it against his chest? The Rebbe Shalom is holding that which he deems most precious in this world. What is most precious in this world in the eyes of the Rebbe Shalom? It's Torah. It's Torah, because I will say, everything comes out of Torah. Everything is derived from Torah. So the Rebbe Shalom literally holds that Sefer Torah b'cheiko, by his chest. And he says the following: Lemisha asakba yavo v'yital scharo. Whoever went ahead and engaged in Torah in this world should come and take his reward. So we'll say. So we're going to discuss in a little bit greater depth what this means. But right now I'll read through it. So what happens? We'll say, I was going to say if you close your eyes and imagine it, but don't close your eyes at this hour of the morning. The idea being, but you have to imagine this incredible scene. All of the nations of the world run towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Be'er Buvya, and they all get mixed up with each other. The idea is the nations of the world are quick to go ahead and want to claim their schar, want to claim their reward. Now, why they think they're entitled to reward, we'll discuss. Shneimar, Kalagoy Nikpitsu Yachtav. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Al Tikansu Lefanai Be'er Buvya. The Rebbe Shalom says, don't come before me, Be'er Buvya. Don't come before me, be mixed up. We'll say, by the way, just as there's so much. What time is that? Down at 7:30. Okay. So let's say, so there is so much to speak about this. This statement. We'll say buvya means like a bahala, mixed up. We'll say, if a person wants to come before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there has to be seder in life. You have to have an order. We'll say the problem we often encounter is we don't have a seder. And I mean, it's a seder in everything. Whether it's a seder in our learning, whether it's a seder in our family time, whether it's a seder in our, whatever it might be. The Rebbe Shalom says, if you want to come before me, don't come before me, Be'er Buvya. I'll say, where this lesson very often comes up? With how we go into Shabbos. I'll say, a person can't go into Shabbos Be'er Buvya. Because if a person is going into Shabbos Be'er Buvya, if it's a whole bahala and things are flying and it's this and it's that, all right, sometimes it's inevitable. If it happens every week, then there's a systemic issue. And the problem, if there's a systemic issue, we know when you go into Shabbos and you're in the 18 minutes and there's this crazy, it's hard to feel Shabbos. It's hard to sit down and feel that nachas ruach. It's hard to feel that I'm coming close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe says, if you want to come close to me, it can't be Be'er Buvya. You can't be all over the place. There has to be a seder. There has to be a mahalach. There has to be a framework. Ella tikanes kol umma v'umma. Rather, every nation should come in one at a time. We'll say beis m'beis. Mazel tov. We just completed the first Amit of Meseches Avodah Zara. V'sofra. So let every nation come together with its chachamim. Shne'emar vayasvu l'umim ve'en l'um ela malchus. Shne'emar u'lo'om mil'om ye'emas. So we'll say, because the pasuk over here says, so quoting over here the pasuk from Yeshaya. A lot we're going to see. Gemara is quoting heavily from Yeshaya. Kalagayim mikpitzu yachtav ve'yasvu l'umim. So literally, again, the nations will gather together. Ye'asvu le'umim. What are le'umim? So the Gemara says le'umim means royalty. Where do we get that from? Ula'om mil'om ye'ematz by Yaakov and Esav. By Yaakov and Esav. So the idea is Chash Baruch Hu says, listen, I want every nation coming in independently and come with your leaders at the helm. Come with your leaders at the helm. So what happens? Well, the Gemara says, 1 second. Umi'ika irbuvya kamei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I will say, is there irbuvia before the Ribono Shalom? Meaning, is there such a thing as irbuvia? Meaning, Ribono Shalom makes it sound like, come in one at a time, I don't want to get mixed up. Does Ribono Shalom get mixed up? Just listen to this. So the Gemara says, Ella, ki hechi delo le'arvivu inhu bahadi hadadi, delishma'u maid da'amar lehu. To which the Gemara says, no. The concern for the irbuvia, Rabbi will say, ultimately, again, is not for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The concern is for the nations. The idea is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a different message for each and every one of the nations of the world. And He wants them each to hear their distinct message. If they all come be'erbuvya, if they all come together ultimately again in one big mix, remind me if we have time afterwards, I'll tell you an incredible maisa about their buvya. So if they all come in one big mix, then the maisa they're going to miss out on their individualized messages. So the Gemara says, miyad Nichnesa lefanav malchus romi. So we'll say ultimately, who comes in first? We'll say we're on Beis Amud Beis, 2, 4, 6 lines down. Who comes in first before the Ribono Shalom? None other than Rome. So first of all, we'll say, you understand over here? You understand like the incredible gaiva. The Ribono Shalom is judging, right? Remember again, when the Kadosh Baruch Hu says, come in and take your schar, because remember, that was the Lashon. Lashon was, Milisha asakba, Yavo v'itol scharo. We'll say wherever there's schar, wherever there's reward, there's also judgment. You see the gaiva of Rome. The gaiva of Rome, assuming that there's such entitlement, assuming that ultimately, again, they are going to collect such incredible schar, they rush. We'll say normally when it comes to judgment, so most people try to find their way to the back of the line. Yet Rome ultimately, again, finds its way first. So the Gemara says, but yet, interestingly enough, miyad nichnas afana malchus Rome, tchila. So we'll say, interestingly enough, it sounds like Rome is going forward, but then the Gemara seems to say that it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu who summons Rome first. Why? My taima, mishum dechashiva. Why does Rome go first? Rome goes first because Rome is the most chashiv empire that has ever existed on the face of the earth. We'll say, where do we know that Rome is so chashiv? Tichsiv, vatocha kol ara, vatidoshena, vatidokena. So we'll say, the Gemara is quoting from the pasuk from Daniel. So we'll say, this is Daniel's image, where he sees the chariot with the multiple animals, each of the animals representing a different kingdom. So the pasuk says, the pasuk says, Vatochal kol ara. When seeing the animal of Rome, it consumed the entire earth. It consumed everything. A remez ultimately again that the monarch, or the empire of Rome, would rule over massive parts of the earth. Rabbi Yochanan. Zu Romi Chayebes. Rabbi Yochanan says this image in Sefer Daniel. This is the guilty Rome. Shetiva Yatsa Bechal Ha'olam. So we'll say Rashi says Shetiva Shmua. That ultimately again his reputation spread across the entire world. Uminalan demand chashiv ayli bereisha. So we'll say the Gemara is just going off on a tangent for just a little bit before we get to the conversation between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Rome. How do we know that if you're more important, you go first? In other words, why is it that because Rome is more important, that Rome ultimately goes first? Where do we know that concept from? Kids Rav Chisda, as Rav Chisda says, Dam Rav Chisda, Melech v'tzibor, Melech nichnas tchila. We actually saw this. We saw this in Sanhedrin and in Shavuos, that if you have a king and the tzibor both waiting for judgment, Melech nichnas tchila ladin. Ultimately, again, the king goes ahead and enters in first for judgment. the king enters in first to judge. Shneimar, Lasos Mishpat Avdo U Mishpat Amo Yisrael, because the pasuk says to go ahead and mete out justice for his servant, or I should say to perform justice for his servant, and ultimately again for his nation of Israel. So the Gemara says, Taimamai. So the Gemara says, what's the reason why? So now what Rav Chisda just told me is that when the king and the nation are both waiting for judgment, the king goes in first and then the people afterwards. Why is that? Taimamai. So the Gemara says, Ibayisema, Lo lav orach ara lemesav malka me'avroi. So we'll say one possibility is what? One possibility is it's not right for the king to sit on the outside. It's not right for the king to sit in the waiting room. V'baisema. So we'll say, so that's just like a din in derech eretz. The king should not be kept waiting. Therefore, if both the king and the nation are waiting for judgment, king goes in first, let the nation wait. King can't wait. V'baisema. They'll both say the other possibility is mikamei delefush charon af. The both say this is actually quite interesting. The other possibility is let the king go in first, ultimately again, before the judge gets really angry. Look at Rashi for just a moment. Delay fushcharon av shal kadosh baruch hu mipnei poshet tzibor shema chas v'shalom yifram min hamelach kol sirchono u'mipnei achara. So we'll say the idea over here in judgment that sometimes again when the judge first hears of the transgressions, he gets very upset, can be a bit starker in his judgment, but as time goes on, he mellows out a little bit, so to speak. So apparently the same yesod occurs with the Ribbon Shalom as well. Therefore, the Melech goes in first. So we'll say, so bottom line, Rome is going in first. Why is Rome going in first? Because they're more chashiv. So we'll say, listen to this exchange. B'mai asaktem. So we'll say, you hear this shaila? B'mai asaktem. Tell me, how did you spend your life? And both say, take a look at Tosas for just a moment. Tosas says, Amar lahem HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'ma asaktem perish. Shoel lahem b'ma zochu b'chol dar vadar. Tell me, what did you do that was righteous in every generation? And both say, can you imagine going up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Rebbe Shalom asking this question? Tell me, b'ma asaktem. Tell me what you've been up to. That's all. Tell me what you've been. B'ma asaktem. Tosas says again, b'ma zochu. What's your zchus? Tell me what you did in your life that was meaningful. Tell me what you did in your life. We'll say, and think about that, by the way. That's the question Hakadosh Baruch Hu asks us after 120 as well. Tell me, Shefala, b'maya sakta or b'maya sakta. What did you do? What did you do? I just want to know, what did you do? So we'll say, so you know what the scary part is? I'm going to say, well, there was that time. There was that time that I did that thing. Right? And Moshe says, fantastic, beautiful. That was one day. What about the rest of the 120 years? What about the rest? And we'll say, that's the question we have to be able to answer. V'mai asakta. Tell me, just tell me what you did. Give me your accounting of your life. Tell me how you think you spent it. Tell me where you see your redeeming qualities were. Tell me how you made a difference. But Maya Saktem, and that's how he tells us, B'ma Zochu. What schus do you have? Tell me, how did you make the world better? How did you make a difference? And I will say the scary part is, if all I could do is mention, well, I did this, that, and maybe I get 5 things, 10 things, 20 things. I will say 5, 10, 20 accomplishments over the course of 120 years seems to be a very poor ROI, right? Seems to be a very poor return on investment for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But that's the shayla we have to ask ourselves. Moshe is going to ask me, but Maya Sakta, what am I going to answer? So Rome, tell me, what did you do? What did you do, Rome? So also you can hear the gaiva oozing out of this answer. Oh, we got this. I'm going to tell you exactly what we did. Harbe shukem tekninu. We made many marketplaces. Harbe mechatzos asinu. We put up many bathhouses. Harbe kesef v'zav yerbinu. We made a lot of money. V'kulam lo asinu ela b'shil Yisrael. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu, no need to fear. We did everything for Klal Yisrael. Kedei sheyis asku b'Torah. Everything we did for Klal Yisrael, that they should learn Torah. What Rome is claiming is essentially, they are the paradigmatic Zvulun. Right? We did everything for Klal Yisrael, so that they should have an easy time making Parnasa, so that Torah says, you will say, look at Rashi just a moment, she's asking about Torah, Sheyehei lahem penai, shemotziim l'ishtaker b'shuk, umotziim mizor oseihen, utzarchein b'li torech, u'mis'arav merchazot. So we'll say, the idea over here is as follows. The idea is, what Rome is saying is, that essentially we built a vibrant economy so that the Jews should have many financial opportunities. If there are financial opportunities, so I want to be clear, Rome is not claiming that we are the first ones who created the kollel system. That's not what they're claiming. What they're claiming is we created a vibrant financial infrastructure so that jobs were available, so that food was available, hygiene was available, so that lifestyle was better. And so because lifestyle was better, because the infrastructure lifestyle was better, therefore Jews were able to earn a parnasa without too much effort, and therefore were able to devote themselves not only solely to supporting themselves, but also to spiritual endeavors. Baruch Shalom says, you fools. Don't tell me that what you did for Klal Yisrael. Everything you did for yourselves. You set up marketplaces so you could set up places for the zonos, like red light districts, right? You set up marketplaces so you could go ahead and you could have brothels. You set up bathhouses because you placed an unhealthy emphasis on the beautification of the self. Kesef is zav. You're talking about your gold and silver. Shalihu. The Rosh Hashanah says it's mine. Shneimar liya kesef liya zav nu'um Hashem tzvakos. Klom yesh bachem magidzos. Rabbi said, listen to this. Says the Rosh Hashanah, tell me, is there anyone amongst your nation, Magid Zos, who could speak about this? Ve'ein Zos ela Torah. Now, both say, this is a strange exchange. Because what the Rosh Hashanah seems to be saying is there anyone amongst your nation who has learned Torah? Now, both say, now what does it mean? The Rosh Hashanah is asking if they don't have an obligation to learn Torah. So we'll discuss exactly what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is asking of them. On a basic level, one could say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is asking me, tell me, is there anyone amongst you who has made spirituality ultimately as a goal? Is there anyone amongst you who has made Avodah Hashem as a goal? Because we'll say, Jew or non-Jew, everybody has an obligation of Avodah Hashem. So what we'll define the parameters of this question in just a little bit. Is there anyone amongst you, Magid Zos, Ve'in Zos HaTorah Shneimar, V'Zos HaTorah Shesamosha, Miyad, Yatzu B'Pachin Nefesh. We'll say, Rome leaves dejected. Rome leaves dejected. Because Rome realizes that ultimately, again, they will not be successful in judgment against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yotza Malchus Romi, v'nichnas Malchus Paras Acharel. Persia comes in afterwards. My time, or why does Persia come in afterwards? Because ultimately, we'll say, after Rome, Persia, the Persian Empire, was the most powerful. The Gemara says, where do we know this from? Because most of the second animal, if Rome was the first animal described in Daniel's vision, so Persia was the second animal described in Daniel's vision, and they looked like a bear. Why did the Persians look like a bear? V'tani Rabbi Yosef ilu parsim. These are the Persians. She'ochlin v'shosin kidov. So apparently they eat and they drink like bears, which they eat and they drink a lot. U'misrubalim basar kidov. And literally again, they're covered with flesh like a bear, which means they were very heavy. Umagadlin se'ar kidov, and they're hairy like a bear. Ve'ein lahem menucha kidov, and I will say the same way that apparently a bear always paces. So too again, the Persians were a listless, restless people. So same question. I will say everybody gets the same question, but my asaktem. Tell me, what did you do? Tell me, what did you do? Oh, we got this. We made bridges, infrastructure. Harbe krachim kavashnu, we captured many cities. Harbe milchamos asinu, we waged many wars. And I will say, everybody is the best friend of Klal Yisrael. The kulam lo asinu ella b'shvil Yisrael. And of course, again, we did everything for, everybody's a lover of Israel. Ella b'shvil Yisrael. Kadesh is asku b'torah. Why do we do it? Again, we'll say same thing as Rome. We created the infrastructure, so that the Jews could go ahead and have an easy spiritual life. They could find parnasa, they could find everything they need. We created the infrastructure. So Rebbe Shalom says, you're liars. We both know that what you did for yourself. You put up bridges in order to go ahead and extract the toll. Mechas is literally a tax. It means a toll. You conquered cities in order to conscript people into the service of the king. Milchamos, wars. Ani asisi. Rebbe Shalom says man doesn't wage wars. I mean, man wages the wars, but Rebbe Shalom determines the success of the endeavor. Shneimar Hashem ish milchama klum yesh bachem magid zos. Again, Rebbe Shalom asks the same question: is there anyone amongst you, magid zos, who has learned Torah, who could speak about spirituality? Shneimar mi bachem yagid zos ve'in zos elator shneimar So we'll say, so again, after he goes ahead and he deflates the argument of the Persians, don't tell me you did what you did for the Jews, tell me, Miesh bachem magid zos. Is there anyone amongst you, ultimately again, who is a magid, who could tell over zos, who could tell over Torah? So we'll say, Persia leaves dejected. So we'll listen to this. My time, the boss said, listen to this. Now, presumably, Persia was watching everything that happened to Rome. So after they saw that Rome left dejected and deflated, so why did Persia feel so confident going in? After they saw that it didn't work with Rome, and pretty much I will say, if you notice, they pretty much lodged the same argument, which is we have all of these accomplishments, but even though they sound very gashmi, very material in nature, don't worry, because everything we did for Klal Yisrael. If it didn't work for Rome, why would they think it worked for them? Amri, listen to this. Amri, they said, Inhu Sasri Beis Hamikdash. Here's the difference. Rome already has a strike against it. What's the strike against Rome, Rabosai? Rome destroyed the Beis Hamikdash. However, again, the Gemara says, Va'anan Baninon. We went ahead and we built the Beis Hamikdash. So remember, the second Beis Hamikdash was commissioned under Koresh, right? Under Koresh, and ultimately, again, he was the Persian king, the ruler of the Persian Median Empire. So they said, we do have a good schus going for us, in that we're the ones who rebuilt the Beis Hamikdash. So the Gemara says the following: So we'll say, and this conversation repeats itself over and over between Chodesh Baruch Hu and every nation. My tiny island. So we'll say, I don't understand. If every nation sees how the conversation goes, then why do they keep entering in before HaKadosh Baruch Hu? So we'll say the simple answer to that is they have no choice, right? This is the emotional. I mean, it makes it sound like they're coming of their own volition, but they're not really coming of their own volition. Chodesh Baruch Hu is judging them. But again, we'll say the taich of it is really not like that. The taich of it is really Chodesh Baruch Hu holds the Sefer Torah in his chest and says, "Who wants to come and collect their schar?" So it sounds like he's inviting them. It's a dialogical invitation. So if they keep seeing that it's not working out for any nations, why do they keep coming? So the Gemara says, because Savri, Hanach ishtabdu b'Yisrael, v'ana lo shabadnu b'Yisrael. Because it was that each nation feels the ones who are dejected and deflated, that's because ultimately, again, they afflicted or persecuted Klal Yisrael. But it was that not every nation has afflicted and persecuted Klal Yisrael. So the ones who didn't figure they have a fighting chance with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yeah. So the Gemara says, so ma'ishnahani dechashivi, u'ma'ishnahani delo chashivi. We will say, what is it that makes ultimately kingdoms like Persia, like Rome and Persia, more chashiv than the other nations? The hanach mashchim b'malchusayu ad da'asi mashicha. Because I will say there are certain nations where a remnant or a piece of those nations remains until the Messianic era. So we'll discuss this in greater depth. Rome for sure, and even Persia in certain respects. So the Gemara goes weiter. So we'll listen to this. See, each of the nations are essentially denied schar b'HaKadosh Baruch Hu because he asks them one simple question: Miesh bachem magid zos. Is there anyone amongst you? It sounds like Baruch Hu is asking anyone amongst you who has learned Torah. And of course, their answer to that question is no, and therefore they leave HaKadosh Baruch Hu without schar. So the Gemara says, I don't understand. God, why are you asking us about Torah? Is it, it's not like you gave us the Torah. It's not like you gave it to us and we didn't accept it. Meaning, Torah is not ours. Torah belongs to Klal Yisrael. Says the Gemara, don't say that. Because the nations of the world really say that. The pasuk says, "Vayomer Hashem is Sinai ba." Vayomar Hashem is Sinai ba. Moshe came from Sinai. V'zarach meseir lamo. So we'll say the Torah speaks of HaKadosh Baruch Hu coming from Seir. Furthermore, Uksiv Elokah miteman yavo. So we'll say my boy b'Seir my boy b'Paran. Why is HaKadosh Baruch Hu in Seir, and why is here, the Pasuk calls it Teman, but the Gemara calls it Paran. Why is HaKadosh Baruch Hu in these places? Why is he there? We'll say, get ready for this. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Melami Shech Zira HaKadosh Baruch Hu kol Uma v'Uma v'Lashon v'lo kiblua. Rabbi Yochanan offered the Torah to every single nation, to every single nationality, and they didn't accept it. Until he comes to Klal Yisrael and they accept the Torah. So we'll say, so the nations can't claim, it's not like you ever offered us the Torah and we rejected it. Not true. Not true. HaKadosh Baruch Hu offered them the Torah and what? And they did reject it. So what's their claim? Amri. So we'll say, ultimately, what the nations of the world say, how can you be angry at us for not learning Torah? It's true we didn't accept it, but because we didn't accept it, we're also what? We're not bound by it. So why would we be expected to go do something that we're not obligated to do? To which the Gemara says, Va'alda tavrasun. The Rebbe Shalom says, that's why you're cursed. Amai lo kiblasu. Why did you not accept it? The Rebbe Shalom says, I brought bracha to your doorstep. I brought holiness to your doorstep. I brought spirituality to your doorstep. I understand you said no thank you. You were very polite. No thank you. And therefore you're not bound by the Torah. But just understand, there's liability for the no thank you, I will say. There's liability for denying yourself the opportunity to avail yourself of the very opportunities that knock at your door. When something shows up at my doorstep and I don't take advantage of that, I will say, the fact that I didn't violate anything is very nice. The fact that I failed to take advantage of spiritual opportunities in and of itself is a dramatic condemnation of the Kodesh Baruch Hu says, I offered you Torah. I offered you Torah. I offered you life. I offered you a chelik of me. And you didn't accept it. Understand that non-acceptance has ramifications as well. Alakach or Mimafanav. Rebbe Shalom, listen to this. Rather, they say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rebbe Shalom, come on. It's true Klal Yisrael accepted Torah, but Klum kafisa alinu har kigigis v'lo kiblanu kimo shasisa liYisrael. Rebbe Shalom, let's be a little bit honest. Okay, let's be honest. Meaning, it's true Klal Yisrael accepted Torah, we didn't. But understand, you also held the mountain over their heads. Right? Meaning, you came to us, right? And you said, would you like the Torah? So, okay, and we said no. So, and you walked away. Klal Yisrael will say, so we'll see, there's a big cash on this. Klal Yisrael also didn't just say yes, although we did just say yes. Well, right? But yet, what did you do? You held the mountain over their head. So the Gemara says, the Pasuk says, literally again, I will say, they stood underneath the mountain. Shakafa HaKadosh Baruch Hu har kegigis al Yisrael. Moshe held the mountain over our head. V'amar lahem, im atem mekablin es haTorah mutov. If you accept the Torah, good. Ve'im lav, but if not, sham tei kvuraschem. Ultimately, again, here will be your burial. So we'll say the Umos Ha'olam, the nations of the world say, that's what? They say, Ribono Shel Olam, you can't fault us for not accepting the Torah, because apparently even Klal Yisrael needed coercion. You coerced Klal Yisrael. How did you coerce us? We also would have gone ahead and accepted the Torah. And I will say, now, amazingly enough, this Sasamis brings out in this Gemara, he says, what was the pshat with the coercion? After all, again, we said Nasav Nishma. If we said Nasav Nishma, why was there need coercion at all? So we'll say, this Sasamis says something amazing. He says, Nasav Nishma was a declaration of the Dar HaMidbar. They said Nasav Nishma. HaKadosh Baruch Hu also saw that there were future generations that would not say Nasav Nishma. There were future generations who would not accept the Torah willingly. Kaflim har kegigis, suspending the mountain over our head and forcing us to accept Torah, was not for that door. Was not for the generation who received the Torah, but rather for what? For future generations. But the Bible said the point is, sounds like the Ummos Ha'olam have a good time on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bosham, you're holding us accountable for not accepting Torah because we said no thank you. Yet, again, the only reason Klal Yisrael has Torah is because you coerced them. Had you coerced us, you also would have accepted Torah. We'll say, we'll stop over here for today. We'll leave you on a little bit of a cliffhanger. We'll see the Ribono Shel Olam's response, B'Shah Tov U'Mitzlachas, tomorrow morning. Shkach, we'll say. We'll say, I want to just tell you one very quick thing. You know, it's an amazing thing that today, Rosh Chodesh, new beginning, a little bit of story. You know, Rabbi Nachman brings it down in the Kuti Halachos on last week's parasha by Paro. The Rebbe says so beautifully that whenever you try to do something in life, there's always an opposing force. Whenever you try to start something, ultimately, again, there is always a force that works against you. And the Rebbe says so beautifully, especially when you start something new, the forces of opposition are at their pinnacle, are at their peak, are strongest. I will say, it's not an accident that, again, on the first daf of Avodah Zara, on Rosh Chodesh, such perfect alignment of everything, all new beginnings, new month, beautiful parsha, Parshas Bo, Chodesh Hazalachem, new Masechta, and there's snow. We'll say, some people call that snow, other people call it the Satan, other people call it Yetzer Hara, other people call it Sitra Achra. We'll say, when you begin something new, there's always forces of opposition. And especially in the beginning of the Masechta, you're going to find forces working against us to try to keep us from completing this Masechta. And we'll say, the great news is, we have the greatest koach of all. That's the koach ha-neshama, the koach of the soul. Nothing stands in the way of the neshama. If you want it, it's yours. The Ribono Shel Olam is going to ask us when we put our heads down on the pillow today, Nu, b'ma asakta, what did you do today? And Ribono said we got the answer. Ribono Shel Olam, I have the answer. Avodah Zara, Daf Beis. Daf Beis. To finish this Masechta,